But he talks about how he talks about next generation energy and the fight that the utilities companies don't want us to have new energy. But anyways, what this guy does is he has a company called Space Built, I believe. And so he's basically created a logistics company where instead of launching one satellite up, he can, which he says that's extremely expensive, and sometimes they break and they're fragile, and they have to make the satellites bulletproof, which is a ton of weight because they have to be able to, withstand, going through the atmosphere. And so what he's done is he is building a logistics company where they don't have to make the satellites bulletproof. You can make them 10 times bigger than the satellites that we have, and you launch them up in sections and pack them safely so that they can make the trip without having all that extra weight to be bulletproof. And then his company would actually assemble those through laser robotics in space. And so what he says is possible is, and I believe him. I mean, he's got the right background to be talking about this stuff. And so what he says we can do, and we already have the technology, is basically they would put these ginormous satellites up into orbit, and they would be solar. So it would actually be a reliable, renewable energy source because there's no clouds, there's no atmosphere, there's no air particles getting in the way to collect that radiation from the sun. It would convert it from solar into some type of a radio wave, and you could beam it down onto the earth to I can't remember what we called it, but it sounded like an antenna. So you basically put this antenna that receives
as an energy collector,
and then it would pump it back into the grid.
Yeah.
And I was just, but
so like a solar farm in space.
Yes. And I mean, he had talked about that, and it's just like, man, like what?